Well, hey, Ben. What's up, everybody? What's going on, y'all? Shout out to the people over on TikTok. We will be talking about Real Housewives Salt Lake City. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation, come on over to YouTube. The link is in the bio. What's going on, everybody? What's up, Maurice? Hey, my cheer baby. I'm ready for this one because Meredith ate. I'm still surprised nobody has called out Heather and Whitney for their bull crap yet, right? Right? I mean, maybe Jenny did try it. What's up, Herschel? Says racist Jenny Slick did call them out when she said they were stirring the pots. Okay. I feel like Heather said that too. Did Jenny? I don't know if Jenny said it. I know Heather. I'm sorry, not Heather, but what's her name? Lisa. Lisa called them out for stirring the pot. What's up, baby Trisha? What's up, honey? The math ain't mathing. What's going on? Hey, JP. Waiting on you, Jamie. Bring yes. I'm here, honey. What's up, boss Keon? What's up, boo? Hey, Aaron. Hey, Simone. Hey, Ray Bay. Hey, JLB. What's up? Yes. Please don't forget to hit that like button as you guys come on into the room as we talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. What's up, Portia and Erlene? What's going on? Not all them hoes fake. So you don't even like Meredith either? My goodness. Okay. What's up, Miss Gucci Diva? What's going on, Cynthia, honey? What's up, y'all? Let's chit chatty patty about the show. Okay. So Lisa speaks about why do I have oh yeah, she speaks about the luncheon. So I feel like that's where we ended on last week. So we picked that up this week where she speaks about the luncheon. And Lisa gets on my motherfucking nerves. Let's just get this. Like, Lisa gets on my nerves, girl. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like she bothers my brain, y'all. She sit up there and she did this multiple times. So I don't want to bring this up again. But it's just the fact that she sat up there and tried to downplay the fact that her child was the one that made the list. So it's like, Lisa, let me see how I can explain this because she really gets on my fucking nerves. So basically, Lisa don't like to get a full details or something. So it's one of those things where it's like she not lying, but she lying. You see what I'm saying? By saying, well, my son was the one that made the guest list. But the question that we asked you, bitch, was why did you not invite Jen, but Whitney was there? And you lead with, my son was the one that made the guest list. So then when people question you about that, you could say, oh, well, I was telling the truth. Yeah, you were, bitch. But at the same time, that's not what we asked you. Why was it that you invited Whitney and not Jen, right? So she just irritates me. As the show was going on, some parts, I'm not gonna lie, I was paying attention and I was not paying attention, especially when I got to the Mary sector and they started talking about the church and stuff. I'm gonna do my best with the notes that I've collected from what I could grab. But Real Housewives Salt Lake City producers, Andy Cohen, Bravo, all of y'all people, I am so fucking tired of y'all talking about church. So I kind of felt Miss what's her name, Jeannie, a little bit when she said, Andy, why is Mary's church so important? Like, why the fuck are we putting so much energy on Mary's church and her being seen as a god when y'all have a whole church? Hold on one second. Let me put this on. Do not disturb. But when y'all have a whole church like Mormons or whatever, they have a ton of followers. Okay, you got a ton of followers. That's more cult than anything. Their history is way longer standing than what Mary could have ever created. So why is we still talking about this? That just really irks me. I don't give a fuck about what was created in Utah and the foundation of none of that. It's like, can we get away from that conversation? Let's not go into a third season talking about church and stuff, right? Let's not. Okay, Mary's no longer on the show, so what are we really going to be discussing? Because I'm sure you got all these Real Housewives over here in Atlanta. Most of them probably Baptist. Ain't no telling. They may be another one, but we ain't talking about this shit over there. So why is it me? Because that's how I feel. Like, why is we still talking about church when that's not what the show was about? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let's get off that conversation. But anyway, so Jenny says that, so the question came up about why she didn't defend Lisa. Jenny started to lie and say that she didn't know the history of the friendship between Whitney and Lisa. Jenny's so fucking bogus. Shout out to Meredith, because Meredith said, oh, but you knew me though. You knew me enough to try and speak on whatever when it came to me. But now you want to use the excuse of you didn't know for sure or you didn't know the history of what was going on with them. right? So then they flash back to the ladies talking shit about Miss Lisa on the bus. And what did we get from Jenny? Dust. She didn't speak up on her behalf. She didn't say anything. Although Jenny continues to say that she did have her back. All right. So there's that. What I did notice was when Meredith turned to Lisa, to Jenny to check her, Lisa jumped into the conversation unwanted and said, but it was nothing, like whatever she knows is from the show. I didn't tell her anything. Nobody asked you that. We didn't ask you what you told her. Okay, but thank you for telling on yourself, because that's what you did. You told on your damn self, girl. Okay, she only knew about you from what she do on the show. I'm talking to A, and here you are, C, coming over here. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her. So I felt like Lisa told on herself, and she did give Jenny a little bit of insight on all of the ladies. Okay. What else? So Lisa was called out for telling Mary what was said about her and how she blamed everything on Whitney. Y'all know, I think it was in Vail when the ladies got into it or wherever, and Miss Lisa went downstairs to try and hurry up and talk to Miss Mary, and then blame stuff on Jenny, on Whitney. And Lisa says, well, I was just explaining to her where the rumors came from and what all was going on. She says, then I went on to ask her a lot of questions, like, does she smoke and things? Because, you know, in church, you're not supposed to be doing all that stuff, girl. And I just felt like, you know, I needed to ask her those questions, right? And Andy tells her, you know what, you tend to have a lot of conversations that are important. You tend to have those off camera. And there's a method to the madness. Y'all not going to sit up here and tell me that Lisa's not a person that's calculated. Very much so. Okay. She knows what she be doing out here in these streets. Okay. And she says, well, no, there was only two. There was one with Mary, and then there was another with Meredith, or something like that, she said. Anyway, girl, then you also tried to didn't you have a conversation off the record with Angie too? I hope they bring Angie onto the show next season. But anyway, I don't believe Lisa. Let's move on. We talk about Meredith's dad's memorial service, right? And how Lisa called her to tell her the news about Jen's husband and him being in a hospital, or whatever the scam thing was, right? So when they get on the phone, Lisa says that Meredith told her that she was at her dad's memorial, and that's what she put her on speaker. I don't believe that. Meredith says, girl, I didn't tell you that because I was in Vail. So how am I going to tell you I'm at a memorial when I'm in Vail and my dad is in Aspen? And we've already, I guess, had the ceremony or whatever the case was. So why would you think that? And then at the end of the conversation, what did Meredith say? She said, no, Lisa says, oh, I know you're with your family. I'm sorry. I don't want to bother you. You're with your family. Oh, my God. Go on and do that. Right. Number one, it sounded like Miss Meredith was asleep. But what was also interesting was when Lisa thought that Meredith was with her family, Meredith didn't tell her, was Meredith with her family in Vail? Because Meredith didn't say, oh, no, I'm not with my family right now. I'm in Vail. And what was also interesting was when Meredith said she was in Vail, but she wasn't at the house. She said she was in the tub at the hotel. But then we also saw her in the tub at the house. So I was a little confused, by that part. What else? But what we can say is whatever Whitney and Heather concocted was wrong. It was a lie. And I don't think Meredith lied about the dates or anything like that. Right? Because she was already there. Because remember, Mary got there before her too. So I don't know what they was trying to do, but whatever. What else? Meredith we talked about that. Okay, so Lisa keeps saying that Meredith told her she was at her dad's memorial. And Meredith is like, girl, I didn't tell you that, so you're lying. And then Lisa says, no, I'm not lying. And I'm just like, Lisa, you're a liar. Like, I don't believe you. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. Anyway, so then they talked about Meredith having that meltdown in so many words. Okay, Meredith says that she was frustrated because they could have just asked her instead of making all these assumptions. Well, the assumptions were made, Meredith, if you actually watch the show, by way of Whitney and Heather. They the ones that carried this bone. Now, I understand that you're upset with Lisa, and rightfully so for whatever reason, because as your friend, you probably would have expected her to have your back. But also place a little bit of that anger over there for the girls that created this BS, and then push that BS to the forefront for other people to come and question you about. Okay. And that would be Heather, and that would be Whitney. So while you over there forming a friendship with them, you may want to be careful. Okay. What else? Oh yeah. She talked about when they finally asked her about what was going on with her dad or the memorial or whatever, she felt as though she was being attacked at that moment. Right. Lisa told the girls that Meredith was at her father's memorial. So that's where they kind of got some of that storyline from. So I guess that would be some of Lisa, but I still feel like Heather and Whitney sat down and created this whole plan, and we got a chance to see them create that. They tried to fit Meredith into the space of being the person to snitch out on Jen and report Jen to the feds and all this other stuff. So yeah, she should have spread out some of that anger. Meredith says that she wasn't at the memorial. She was in the tub. We talk about that. Lisa tells Meredith that she didn't call her because she wanted to just say, oh, so when they took a break, Lisa decides she finna scoot over there to me. Hi, Meredith, can I talk? Can we have a conversation? Listen, I just wanted to say, because I didn't want to say it in front of no, she said she wanted to say it to everybody. She wanted to give her thoughts or whatever in front of everybody at once, right? And she says that she was like, well, do you know that I love you? So when she said, well, let me go back. When she says that she wanted to give her thoughts to everybody at once, I'm like, were you about to apologize, or what were you about to do to share with everybody at once? Because you could have, and you still could have waited, but you decided to scoot over there to her, talking about you wanted to give your thoughts to everybody at once. But then you could have just waited instead of scooting over there trying to have a conversation with with Meredith. You could have just waited. So I don't know, but she then gonna ask Miss Meredith, so do you know that I love you? And Meredith was like, well, I don't know what the hell to believe. Okay. She was like, well, listen, I just want a girl. Meredith got her ass up and she walked off, and I said, Meredith, you had better. You better keep that same energy, because this girl thought she was going to be able to come over there and give you that little soft voice, be real soft and cute and stuff, and thought that you was just going to be so quick to forgive. And I was so here for her not doing it. So what else did I want to say? Okay, so she asked her if she knows that she loves her. Meredith says, I don't know what to know, and I don't want to hear anything else, so you could stop. That's what she said, and she got up and walked off. And I was definitely here for her on that. So Lisa decides that she's going to run off and go cry to production, and then go blame them for that she said when she was on the hot mic. No, man, when you was on your rants. No, man, how you gonna blame production? I feel like you guys did not have to put that in there. You put that in there, and now you give everybody a reason to come at me in a way. Lisa, that's why people don't be liking you, girl. Because you never take 100% fault on your own. You always have to have an excuse about something or bring somebody else in instead of owning your part. It's always, I'm sorry, but I was feeling, I'm sorry, but so when you do that, it disregards the apology that was already out there. Okay. It should be a sorry with whatever your statement gonna be. I apologize about whatever, and then put a period behind it and sit back. Okay. That's why people be getting frustrated with you, girl. Because you always have to feel like you got to be justified or over explain or do something. Like, girl, you're just wrong. Okay. What else? We talked about that. So she was upset. We talked about Mary sending out the terrible messages to everybody. Girl, the way she read Miss Whitney down and told her how she don't need anything on her body because everything is pretty much plastic or whatever like that, girl. I said, now, Miss Mary, you did not have to do that. You did not have to do that. Now, Whitney would have hit you back with saying, girl, I'm already white, so at least I ain't got to bleach my skin. Yikes. How would you have taken that, ma'am, if she would have hit you back with that? My God. Okay. Anyway, she also hit up Meredith, and she checked her because she felt like Meredith did not check on her after Jenny threw the glass. And I probably would have felt the way with Meredith too. Like, if you my friend, like you say you are, whatever, and you let this lady sit up here and throw a glass at me, yeah, you should have checked on me, because times that you wasn't in the best place, I made sure that I checked on you. So yeah, check on me. Because see, now I'm about to align you with the rest of these, so I'm gonna feel like you just like them at this point. Okay. So there's that. Jenny says that she has a high tolerance for people. I have no words. I have nothing to say. I don't know what to say about that. I got a high tolerance for people, but I threw a glass at somebody and I was hella bothered the entire time. If Mary doesn't like me, that's Mary's problem. That's not my problem. I don't care. But you were bothered the entire time because Mary was not stunning your ass, which resulted in you throwing a glass, and you gave no real explanation or apology behind that. You just said you have a high tolerance for people. Well, it seems like Bravo has a very low tolerance for individuals like you, hence the reason why your ass was fired. Okay, so there's that. Okay, you affected their coin, so you had to get up off the couch. Let's move on. The question was, do they believe Mary's church is a cult? All right. Meredith says no. Whitney says at first I didn't, but now I'm starting to question. Jen says the magic word that everybody agrees on and most people do believe. She says, I feel like all churches are a cult to a certain extent. And Heather, you got on my damn nerves too. You are Mormon as well. You was the main one that left the church. I believe you was the first one to talk about leaving a church. And then you want to sit up here and talk about what she said, Mormon possibly could be a cult or whatever. Like, no, girl, that's what it is. Ain't nobody finna say, I don't care. Don't say you ain't finna tell me. If you got leaders that was a part of a church that was sitting up here having relations with underage people, y'all mother, period. You're not finna tell me nothing different. I just disagree with that. No, ma'am. Y'all follow these people like that's the only word, and that's it. The final finale. We gonna go off into the sunset with whatever they say. No, ma'am. Okay. So there's that. So the fact that you just had so much energy for Meredith, Mary, when you got your own going on with your own church that you just sat up here and left, I don't know, girl. Anyway, what else? Jenny asked Andy, why is Mary church so important and it has to be discussed? And then Heather says, because Lisa brought Heather got on my nerves, bro, for real. But the way she kept her foot on Lisa fucking neck by continuing to bring, like, girl, you have a thing for this woman, for real, Heather. Now, I understand you were upset the first season that she acted like she didn't know you. Now, as we transitions to the season, to more seasons, girl, if you keep up with this behavior, people gonna start liking Lisa over you because now you have this thing for her. Okay? Because you made sure you brought up every single time, even when the shit was not relevant. Even when it wasn't relevant, you kept bringing up the hot mic situation and how she talked about her friend. And then now here you go talking about because she brought Cameron to the show and stuff. Girl, no, ma'am. It was quite funny. I mean, it brought up more conversation. But, girl, you have a thing for Miss Lisa. Lisa says, Cameron isn't here, so let's not bring him up. Only for Andy to end up asking more questions about Cameron. Meredith was asked why she thought Lisa introduced her to Cameron, right? We already know Lisa introduced Cameron. First of all, this man was Mike. So if this man was Mike, this was an agenda, Lisa, period. It was an agenda. You make sure this man was Mike. You introduced this man to Meredith. There was some mess behind it, okay? I don't know what conversations y'all had behind the scenes to try and take down Miss Mary, but that's what it was given, okay? So then, Meredith said, well, girl, before I answer that question, honey, I need to find out, honey, was Cameron on the foster care board of Utah? Was he on that board? Here go Lisa with a straight face, bold face ass lie, talking about, yes, he was. Yes, he was. And Whitney said, no, ma'am. No, he was not. He was not. No, ma'am, you're not going to get that lie past us. And this is when Lisa was like, well, he was on his way. He was on his way to being on the board. And I said, girl, being on your way to being on the board and being on the board is two different things. So how the hell did the man get access? Because you invited him. It's okay. It's okay. We just want you to call a thing, girl. You just be up here lying to the people and then be set up here crying because you don't understand why people coming at you. I cannot. What else? Meredith says, no, he wasn't on the board at all. Because y'all know one thing about Miss Meredith, one thing about Meredith, okay, and her being an attorney, she gonna do that research, baby. And she gonna have them investigators, baby. And she said, well, according to my research, I know he wasn't. He was not. He wasn't on the board. You know, girl, hilarious, okay? There's that. I think they ended up bringing up text messages and stuff. So we'll get to that. But Meredith also asked her if Cameron mortgaged his home for Mary, right? And I think Lisa said at one point he mortgaged his home for like $300,000 for Mary. Come to find out, Lisa says, oh, well, I may have been off by that number. I may have been off, you know, but he did mortgage his home to give some money to Mary. And then Miss Meredith was like, well, girl, you told me off camera, because, you know, you like to have conversations off the camera. Okay, right. Yeah. You told me off camera that he donated like 10%, girl. And when I went back and fact checked, you know what I'm saying? Mary told me the same thing. So the problem that I have with you is the fact that you had that conversation off camera and you did not bring that conversation to the girls. So that's the problem that I have with you, girl. A mess. Okay. So again, Lisa, you out here looking messy. You out here looking like you was trying to keep up some shit. Okay, you was out here looking like you was trying to keep that target on Miss Mary's back, and you ain't want to clear up nothing, continuing to have people believe and think whatever they want to think about her based on the things that Mr. Cameron has said, girl. Let's move on. So Lisa pulls out a message between her and Cameron. Whitney didn't want her to read it because she said, "Girl, I don't know how actual factual that paperwork is." Andy reads it anyway, but then Whitney pulls out her phone. And Whitney speaks on text messages and things that they had between each other or whatever. And he just felt like everyone in the church did feel like Mary was a god. Or whatever that is, girl. I mean, girl, some people don't even go to church and be walking around here feeling like they're a damn God. Like, it's just, it is what it is for me. Like, I'm not following the church combo for real, for real. So let's get to Meredith and Lisa. What's up, everybody over here on TikTok talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? If you'd like to be a part of the conversation, come on over to YouTube. The link is in the bio. Meredith and Lisa. So Jen says that she told Lisa that Meredith isn't a good friend because she always saw Meredith with Mary. And then Lisa says, no, I was never bothered by the friendship. Yes, you were. You were bothered by the friendship. And that's the problem for me. You always act like you be unbothered, but be bothered as fuck. That be the problem, girl. You was bothered with just Angie and Whitney. And that ain't, you and Angie ain't even like best friends. I don't even know if you've known Angie as long as you've known Meredith. So why, like, that's not making sense. You will be offended by Angie becoming friends with, Whitney, but you wouldn't be offended by Mary and Meredith being friends. No, girl, you was definitely offended, okay? And Jen told her that, like, girl, yes, you was. You can sit back and be quiet because you was bothered as hell. Heather was definitely going to make sure that she rubbed in Meredith's face what Lisa said about her. She reminded her yet again the things that she said on that hot mic. But Heather was not lying though. Okay. She wasn't lying. So Lisa says that she wasn't bothered by the friendship, but bothered by Meredith saying that she was offended because every time she tried to express herself, she came off as though she was offensive. But Meredith was offended by you saying that she never had your back. And shout out to Meredith and being the attorney that she is, because the way she was answering those questions, it all circled around towards the end to make sense as to why she was asking these questions. Did I have your back when this happened? Thank you. Did I have your back when this happened? Thank you. Did I have your back when this happened? Thank you. I rest my case. Your Honor, will revisit in a second. Okay. Came back to revisit to find out you was being bogus as hell, trying to sit up here and use the excuse that you feel like she's not defending you when the girl had been defending you the whole time, even despite the friendship that she had with somebody else. But anyway, so Meredith tells Lisa that she and Mary got into it because Lisa called Mary fake. And she was like, I wasn't finna get into that. So if you think that I was going to get into it, I wasn't. I wasn't going to do that. So it is what it is. Meredith lets her know that she has never been triggered to speak about any of her friends or anyone in the same manner that Lisa spoke about her behind those closed doors. Okay. And she doesn't know what she could have done to cause her to speak that way, even though she's using the excuse of feeling like, oh, you ain't been supportive of me. And every time I try to tell you that, you get offended or whatever like that. So, that's why she feels like she went back into the room to go off the way that she did. But I also feel like Meredith is not Meredith, but Lisa is a liar because she came up with a lot of different excuses as to why she said the things that she said about her. Okay. It was a lot of different things that she said. And it just didn't make sense. Meredith breaks down and tells her that she told her 3 days before her dad died that her dad was dying. And she says that Lisa did not reach out to her until 2 days after his death. And that's when she invited her to come to like some type of ceremony that I guess they have. And once they get to that ceremony, you choose to ask me about my friendship with Jen instead of being there and being supportive of me as your friend. And I feel like that was messed up. Okay, so there's that. They already had some issues and the friendship was going downhill. Lisa says that she did call her back and says that she talked to her about it. And Meredith says, but when you did call me, girl, okay, you're right. You called me back, B-I-T. But you called me back 2 days after my dad died. When I told you my dad was dying, you did not call me. Okay, you waited until he passed and then you hit me up. And here go messy ass Meredith. Well, I'm not Meredith, but Heather. Meredith, I understand because when my dad died, she texted me and said, I hope that your dad is getting better. That's what she texted. Hilarious, right? Because I'm like, first of all, Heather, what the does that really got to do with anything? You just want to continue to drive a wedge further and further between the friendship that they got. But girl, listen, Lisa don't need your help doing that because it's already done for. All right. You don't need to add any more fuel, okay, to that particular fire. So I think Meredith was like, well, girl, I didn't know your daddy had already passed. She said, well, girl, everybody else do. So, I'm sure that you know. But either way, honey, I just want to let you know I didn't say that to attack you. Yes, you did. Okay, you did want to bring extra heat down on Lisa, but then turn around and say to Meredith, I just wanted to say that to let you know that I understand. Well, girl, you didn't have to add that for us to know that you understood. What else? Meredith reads a text and told her if she loves her family to stand up for her family, and how she was hurting and how she had been feeling alone in that time, right? And Meredith says that she said, but even with everything that I told you, you still went back and you did that hot mic situation after I already told you that I was feeling alone. So you didn't take me into consideration at all, but you want me to sit up here and take you into consideration of how you've been feeling. Okay, yikes. So then Meredith brings up how Lisa did not call Jen, or was she there for Jen when Jen got arrested, right? She says, but you used the excuse of not being there for her and not supporting her because you felt as though she talked to you any kind of way in front of your kids. Well, if you want to use that excuse, which really ain't no excuse for real, but if you want to use that as an excuse, then how the hell you think my family feel when you said the things that you said about me? Y'all, we have been friends for about 10 years. I'm sure these kids probably look at you like Aunt Lisa or whatever that you are to them, very close. And you said a lot of negative things about their dad and their mama. So how you think my children feel, as well as the entire world? So let's talk about that. Okay, Lisa says that, well, I was packing and I was talking to myself. Okay, I didn't know. I was talking to myself. All right, girl, bye. When they opened up the door, it was somebody else in the room with you. It was somebody else in there from production. So you really was high key talking to them. Then you realized your mic was on and you grabbed your mic and then you threw it. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's the fact that everything that you said about Meredith was how you really felt about Meredith. Okay, you had been feeling that way about Meredith, and it just finally hit a fan. Okay. Andy tells her that she was giving a truth dump, which she was, and Lisa denied it, of course. She's so weird. Everything you tell her, she denies. And then when she comes back with a response, it doesn't connect. It doesn't make enough sense for us to think that she's not like a liar or anything. Like, I don't. Okay, Lisa, let's keep going. What else? This was messy. This is messy. Whitney says, but even before the hot mic situation, Meredith been talking shit about you. You need to reach out to what the lady name, Sarah Garner or something. I believe. Reason why I believe Whitney said the truth, because remember, I pointed out earlier on when Meredith was checking Jenny, Lisa jumped into the conversation unwanted and said, it was nothing that I said about you. She got her own assumptions or thoughts about you from watching the show. But this show good Judy. This show good friend. You known her for about 7 years or however long. You mean to tell me that you ain't gonna school her and give her some behind the scenes tea or anything about the ladies before she comes onto the show? Because I'm sure she had questions. So the fact that you had to jump in there to immediately absolve yourself of that because you want to make sure that she knows, like, okay, I'm already down. Okay, we already down bad right now because of the things that I said with the hot mic, girl. I ain't trying to make us more down bad for anything that I may have said to Jenny about you. So when Whitney comes to the forefront and says, oh, she said more, you need to reach out to Miss Sarah because Sarah gonna tell you everything that she said. Okay, I believe that. Yep. In addition to that, the same way that she sat up there, she was talking about Whitney to Angie, and Angie came back and told Whitney, right? That's what you do, Lisa. Yikes, girl. Yikes. All right. So Lisa decides to give a backhanded apology and was giving excuses as to why she said what she said, because she was going through a lot and felt like she was getting cut off from Meredith. So 1 minute it was you being offended, or you feeling like you can't get your words out. And then the next thing is you feel like you was being cut off from her. Like, basically, in so many words, she was distancing herself from your ass. Okay. So that's another reason why you said it. Like, just coming up with shit. Cause she ain't had no, like, that's how you felt. And that's okay. Just own how you felt if that's how you felt about your friend. So Jen then lets her know her apology isn't soft. And I said, you let Jen Shaw tell you that you got a weak ass apology? Oh my. Okay. Then she makes another excuse about being in a group setting. Makes no fucking sense, bro. Makes no sense to me. Talk about stuff. Well, I'm sorry it's not coming out how it should. I'm in a group setting, and I'm sorry I have to say this in front of the group. What? You've been on this show for 2 seasons. You knew that this conversation was definitely going to come up, and you knew you was going to be in a group setting with these ladies, and you knew your best friend was going to sit right here. I'm sure she ain't been with you any other time in privacy. So the only time you do got is in a group setting in public. So you might as well go ahead and apologize and address it right here, since you said a lot of shit that ended up making air anyway. What? Okay, I mean, all right then, girl, that's Lisa. So Whitney says that she was sad for them because I don't believe this, Whitney. Girl, stop your lies, because you contributed to the breakdown. Whitney says that she was sad for them because if their friendship was that deep and strong for 10 years and it took something like this to drop it, then, you know, that sucks. But then she also says that we all saw it coming, though. So it was bound to happen, is what she said. What else? Lisa asked Heather why she told Meredith that she wasn't her friend. And Heather says that she was trying to mend them. Heather, you're full of shit. I'm sorry. You was not trying to mend the ladies, girl. You were not trying to mend the ladies, okay? But Heather does go on to make a few other good points. She says that she says that Lisa is unwilling to apologize in a meaningful way. She was right on that. You weren't. That's what Jen Shaw just tried to communicate to you. I feel like you don't listen to people, Lisa. That's why you always get caught up in this. All right. And you always are a victim in everything. I don't understand it. And I also think Heather was right on point when she told you that you always think that you're perfect. And I think that's another reason why you do not like to accept fault for things that you may do wrong, because you think that you're always perfect. And if somebody comes at you and tries to correct you, you try to say, oh, no, they're just jealous. Everybody ain't jealous, so what the hell you got going on? But it's interesting to see that you see a lot of the ladies is beneath you, because you also told everybody that you make more money, or you're the richest woman out of everybody. Okay. Anyway, so Lisa goes on to apologize, says that she's sincerely sorry or whatever. She regrets saying what she said, and she hopes that their friendship can get back on track. Meredith said, girl, as you like to say, honey, you're processing. Girl, just know I'm processing. I just saw this shit 2 days ago. All right. So I don't know where the hell it is that I stand with you. And I'm continuing to figure it out. As we can see the back and forth on social media, these ladies are not back on one accord. Okay. So we'll continue to see the breakdown next season. Meredith is asked about who others have slept with because she said she could air it out since y'all want to talk, honey. She could let y'all know who everybody has slept with. And Andy says that it sounds like she's threatening people. And Meredith tried to say she wasn't threatening them. I'm like, girl, you know you threaten these ladies, okay? And Andy said that's pretty much a threat if you have information on people. And she says, well, girl, it is what it is, girl. I mean, that's just what it is. That's what I mean. It's a threat. It's a threat, okay? What you gotta do? All right. So Lisa and Meredith. So once everybody walks off stage, Lisa goes over to Meredith trying to have yet another conversation to her. All right. She apologizes to her again, but then she brings up how, which is so, this is the thing, like, what the fuck? She apologizes and then turns around and say, but somebody told me that you said you were talking about my home renovations. That's another reason why I said the things that I said. You were talking about what? How the fuck you get all this stuff that you said about me out of some home renovations? First of all, I ain't never talk about your damn house. Okay. And hell, as you would say, girl, I can't even get one right. I can't even get a house right. So why the hell would I talk about your renovations if I can't even afford one? I'm just saying what you said. Now, that's what you said. So if I can't afford one, why would I talk about your renovations? Right. Bogus. Get out my damn face. No, ma'am. No. So I wouldn't be rocking with Lisa either. Lisa keep coming up with these different excuses. As to why she said what she said, girl, that's just how you feel. That's why you said what you said about your friend. You're a liar, and your pants are on fire. Okay? So there's that. Miss Girl can never accept fault. She can't accept sole fault without bringing a but behind it or this reason that is not even related to anything. You done went to like 3 to 4 different things as to why you said what you said. Not making sense. Lisa's a child. She crumbles when things don't go her way. And I can agree with that, George. Whitney's friend Sarah Jane was on Dana Wiley's YouTube channel and spilled all the tea about how Lisa, the mean girl. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I may have to go over there and scoot over. I may have to scoot over there and check that out, Claire. Okay. Oh, Lisa is a liar, pants on fire. Yes, pants on fire. There is a huge difference between 300K and 30K. And some part of me feel like he didn't even give 30K. But I don't know. But did you catch that Miss Whitney felt as though Miss Mary and Cameron was having like an affair, some type of relationship? I cannot confirm nor deny, but I will say I will not be surprised. We know how the male pastors get down in the church. So I have to be honest and say I wouldn't be surprised if Miss Mary Mack was over there macking on something else. So, you know what I'm saying? Because it's clear she don't even really like her husband. You know? She don't like that man for real. He looking like she don't want that man to touch her at all. Period. All that crying and ain't seen one tear. Not one. Not one. Then trying to go off on production. Girl, you signed yourself up for this. We saw how shook Lisa was when she found out about Jen. She looked real guilty. I personally think both her and Whitney are up to fraudulent activities for their money. I mean, Miss Lisa did, not Lisa, I'm sorry. Miss Whitney did know a whole lot about how the process and things work with marketing, I guess, scams or whatnot. So, yikes. Not Sarah Jane being at the insurrection. Oh my God, was she? Ooh. Oh, okay. No, that was another friend of Whitney's. Excuse me, called Sarah that was up there at the White House or wherever, at the Capitol, wherever they was. Girl, need to be the first ones going overseas. But anyway, let me go ahead and scoot on up. See what else you guys are saying before I go ahead and hop off the live, y'all. Jenny got tripped up so many times during the reunion. I thought it was funny to watch her racist as trying to recover from the hypocrisy and the lies. Girl, she's a whole mess. A whole mess. Y'all, why did they make this reunion 3 parts? Because to be honest, we really could have skipped a lot of Mary conversation since she wasn't there primarily about the church, because I do feel like the conversation honestly didn't go anywhere. For real, even when it tried to go somewhere to speak about Cameron and the things he had to say about Mary's church, it went right on back to Lisa and her involvement of bringing Cameron on the show. So I feel like we could have skipped that entire segment since Mary was not there to defend herself in any capacity. And unfortunately, Cameron as well. So why do that? Like, I need Bravo, Andy, and the others to read the room when it comes to the reunion. Okay? Read the room. And realize what we should have for 3 parts, 4 parts possibly, and what should just be 2. Okay? So, yeah, there's that. Word on the street is Heather hasn't left the Mormon church, but he's faking it for a storyline and for book sales, allegedly. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. I can't say. I understand that's the word on the street, but I don't know. Why disown your church and then still got to walk up in the church and look at these same people every single day? I don't know if she would want to put herself through that much scrutiny. And for her daughters to sit up there and say how they not even really interested in going back into the church. I think only one daughter would want to go back. Everybody else is like, girl, we ain't been in so long, so why would we want to go back? I don't know. I don't know how true that is, unless she's doing her own practices at home or something. Lisa and Jenny looking so stuck. They were getting it from all angles, right? I just wanted Jenny to honestly sit back and shut up. The only thing I was here for was when she asked about Mary's church. Why is that so important? And then Andy talking about something. Well, we talk about the Mormon church for the past 2 years too. No, not really. Not really, we didn't. The only reason why we talked about the Mormon church was because of Heather and her lackluster of a storyline. It went nowhere. That's the only time we really heard about Mormon. And her sister leaving and not being there, and her dad not being happy, or whatever that case is. Heather ain't bring up nothing. Okay? Yes. Please be sure to hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, you can go ahead and do that as well. You know what, Omar? What's going on, honey? I did hear they are getting it's like 2 or 3 of them. One of them is a black woman that they're maybe getting next season. And I said I was going to look more into those ladies because I'm not familiar. I don't even know if I've seen them on the show in the background. But I definitely want to look into that. But I mean, I'm cool with them bringing in more ladies, and these ladies seem like they may be a bit younger. So I'm wondering what they finna bring, child. I feel like it's gonna be a whole lot of messy boots, much more messier than what it is now. But I do feel like they may be diverting from the whole church talk. We shall see. I officially have no favorites. Well, I do like Meredith, but girl, Whitney, Heather, Jen, and Lisa can all kick rocks. I know that's right. Was Jenny not really taking much, or did they edit her out? Ooh, good question. I don't know. They could have edited her out. That definitely could have been the case. I did see where she kind of tried to insert herself at times. So I don't know. Maybe she wasn't being asked a lot, which is why she was trying to insert herself into conversations at times. But it also could have been that they edited out some stuff. Interesting. And you know what else? Now that I think about that, it also could be that maybe she didn't have a lot to say, because a lot of her beef this season was primarily with Mary. So that person didn't show up. So, yeah, I mean, I guess they could have talked about it from Jenny's standpoint, because we didn't have to talk about the church. But yeah, y'all, that was pretty much it, honey. That was pretty much all that was going on that reunion. You're a liar. You're a liar. I'm not letting that sink in, because I don't believe you. I'm not finna, y'all ain't nobody on this green earth, green and blue, with a piece of brown. It's not finna sit up here and tell me that Heather is 39. Okay. No, ma'am. I would not receive that into my spirit, because I do not believe it. That woman is not no 39 years old. I'm sorry. She can lie to someone else. You know what? I retract my statement just slightly. Okay, I'm a moonwalk just a little bit, not all the way, just half, because it's no shade to anyone that is Caucasian. But I worked with somebody, and he had no hair on the top of his head, y'all. I kid you no lie. The man told me he had just turned 30. I said, I know you joking, because he's a jokester, but his face was straight as hell this time. The aging well does not work in that department. So she could be 39 looking much older, is highly possible, because they don't age very well. I've already told you guys, Queen Elizabeth has been looking the same for over a decade now. And I'm sure she was much younger. So, I mean, it's just what it is. It's unfortunate. But she could be 39. She could be 39. I don't believe it, but she might be. So, yeah. I think they should have added Black women, give us a character like Ebony and one like Grishawn. Is Ebony even returning back to Real Housewives of New York? Isn't that show on pause? Because Ebony was definitely stirring up some things over there. It made me wonder if they were going to have her back, because she was calling some things to the front. I don't think the people were ready. So she not coming back? Oh, damn. I guess, child. Well, guys, I enjoyed this live. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, if you have yet to subscribe, you can go ahead and do that as well. I have some other content that I want to try to work on getting out before your girl gets too tired to do anything else today. All right. So, yes, that's all that I have. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I am going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.